Nearly 50 years separates these two Porsches, but apart from the badge, there's something else that they have in common. Because despite appearances, this isn't actually a 911, and that Cayman S is a 718 Cayman S. Yes, you've probably guessed it, these are both four-cylinder Porsches. So, welcome to United by the Drive, the official YouTube channel of the Porsche Club of Great Britain, where today I've come to Porsche specialist Paul Stevens to drive these two intriguing cars. But the question is, are you always going to be lusting after two extra cylinders, or do these cars have their own unique appeal? There's only one way to find out. Let's get straight into it. Porsche always planned for an entry-level model in the 911 range, and in 1965, with the type barely on the market, it announced the 912, using a subtly evolved version of the 1.6-litre flat-4 engine that had been in service in the outgoing 356 SC. Retailing for around a third less than a 911, it offered 90 brake horsepower and 90 pounds-foot of torque. It also weighed 100 kilograms less than a 911 and enjoyed a 44 to 56% front-rear weight distribution as opposed to the 911's 41 to 59%. By the end of the year, over 6,000 912s had found homes, approximately twice that of 911 production, but the model didn't stay around for that long, being superseded with the arrival of the 911B series from 1969 and its entry-level six-cylinder T model. Right from the start, the 912 was conceived as the entry-level 911, a 911 with a four-cylinder engine, that four-cylinder engine being from the last of the 356s. And of course, as an entry-level model, it was cheaper. It was less expensive to run, less expensive to fuel, less expensive to service, less expensive to purchase. All of those qualities were relevant when it was new, and they're still relevant today. But beyond the mere financial argument, what else does it offer? Well, an awful lot, because it's lighter than a 911. There's less weight in the rear, so the weight distribution is different. And the car it's a very light, nimble, satisfying drive. It doesn't feel slow or unresponsive at all, weighing only 965 kilos. I mean, it's really light, and you feel that. This one's got the optional 5-speed in it with the dogleg first. It's a rewarding transmission, actually. It's a nice shift, but you can't rush it too much, and you've got to get it just right. You've got to be precise. You've really got to think about your gear change. You've got to think about your driving so much, and that's the joy. That's the joy of it. As you can see, I'm really getting into this. Am I missing the extra two cylinders? That's a good point, isn't it? I can absolutely see the appeal of this car. It makes running a classic 911 that bit more affordable. And for many of us, well, that's a really good thing. With 90 horsepower, I'd be lying if I said it was a rocket ship. Of course, it's not, despite not weighing very much at all by modern standards. Yes, it's not that fast, but do I really care? No. And the reason being is to drive it well requires concentration and the right technique. There is more than enough to think about without going down the road at warp speed 9. So the fact that it's not that quick, you know what? I don't mind. It doesn't really bother me. I think the thing that I do miss is the soundtrack. The little four-cylinder sounds extremely gutsy. It sounds keen. It chugs away at idle. It is the original Porsche soundtrack. Let's not forget that. But for me, I do miss that six-cylinder noise. Early 911s sound so good. Even just the standard early 2-litre engine, it's just such a beautiful noise. With this, you're 2 cylinders down, and you do really know about it. If I was spending the money, could I live with that? Oh, it's a genuinely difficult question to answer. I'm so tempted by this car and quite frankly enthralled by it. It's just such a sweet little car. But I do think I miss those extra cylinders. The 718 models ushered in an all-new turbocharged flat 4 engine closely related to the 3-litre twin-turbo flat 6 engines launched in the second generation Carrera models of the 991. Available as either a 2-litre with 300 horsepower or a 2.5-litre with 350 horsepower, the latter uses a variable vane turbocharger for better response and a wider torque curve. Otherwise, the car is a fairly subtle evolution of the 981, with revised suspension and a quicker steering ratio and an upgraded interior. Neither variant has been significantly upgraded in the Type's long lifetime, and it finally went off sale in the UK during the summer of 2025. Right, 718 time. What can we say about this car? Well, controversial car, wasn't it, when it came out? I remember that launch really well, and even driving the prototypes back in the day on the engineering launch event. And there was a lot of excitement around it, but I think it was also tarnished with a lot of regret that we were losing those big naturally aspirated engines. But of course, it was all done in the name of reducing CO2 emissions and fuel consumption in EU testing. Well, what we actually ended up with was a very different car. For a start, the 718 took the already brilliant 981 and refined it further in the chassis and the steering and things like that. And it is a fabulous car to drive. Whether it's the steering, the ride and handling balance, everything about it is just so polished. But the key thing is that having that 4-cylinder engine changes the character of the car. And the way it does that more than anything is through the torque, because this is an engine, especially in a 2.5-litre variable vane turbocharger equipped S model like this, it's a car with real torque, and that works the chassis in ways that the previous cars never ever could. This is a car that's much more keen to rotate, to play the hooligan. You can do more with it. It really is a different driving experience. Now, this particular example has done 20,000 miles. It's an early car, 2016. It's up for sale at Paul Stevens for $39,995. It's a lot of car, a lot of performance for the money. And actually, you know what? As the years go by, I think I've mellowed to this engine. I tend to see its gruff rumbles and pops and bangs and turbocharger whooshing noises. I tend to see it now as character, whereas once I would have just kind of berated the fact that it didn't have a nice big tuneful flat 6 in it. Now I think I just appreciate it for being a different kind of car. One of the things you really notice about these 718S models is the response of the engine with that variable vane turbocharger. Once it gets on boost, it really punches the car forward, and that's something you never got with the old flat 6 engined cars. Sure, they revved out and they sounded great. Let's be honest, they did sound a lot better than this car, but that boost is really exciting. An awful lot of appeal. I really, really enjoy these cars, and I think in a way they're quite underrated. So there you have it. 2 cylinders too little, or 2 Porsches with their own considerable appeal? For me, it's very much a case of the latter. From the 356 through to the 919 hybrid, 4-cylinder engines are a core part of Porsche tradition, and indeed give both these cars their own unique character and advantages. Nevertheless, just personally, I find it genuinely difficult to look past the 6-cylinder alternative.